Look at this poster and try to guess who the real star of the movie is. Is it Henry Cavill? Is it Dua Lipa? I'm not gonna tell you, but I can tell you this, that it is not Henry Cavill or Dua Lipa. They are not the star of the movie. This movie starts off all guns blazing. I was hooked to the start of the movie, and this upward trajectory of the script actually goes upwards and upwards for nearly the entire first half. But as the second half kicks in, the story slows down a bit, but that's not the problem. It just becomes too much for the ending. I mean, I get it. Whatever they were trying to do, it was done intentionally, it was intentionally created in a campy nature, but it just felt that it dragged the entire story. Now coming to the next point, the movie feels too long because of this very thing that I mentioned. Now there are two fight sequences in particular which you might say, okay, I know what you're doing there. I know it is just meant to be watched as something fun, but it is just dragging. It is not that much fun that you would want to bear that. So basically the length of the movie felt a bit too long. At least 15 minutes could have been clipped off of the movie. By the way, let me tell you about the story of the movie without any major spoilers. So here's this lady who is an author who writes spy novels. Now she is famous enough and she has written 4 books and she is about to complete her 5th book. Now this is interesting. She figures that whatever she writes in the book comes to life. Now hold on, this is not something you would relate to something as supernatural stuff, but there is a method to this as well. Now there's a method she uses to write. She thinks like a spy. Whatever she writes in the book is coming from a mind of a spy, and that's the catch. So whatever she writes like thinking from the mind of a spy, and hence whatever she writes in the books usually comes to life. And I think that's enough of the story. But this entire setup that I talked about is what I really appreciated about this movie. Now building on top of this point, now there's a scene in a train which was awesome, really awesome. The transitions that they used were good. Then the editing especially was done pretty nicely. Like in this train, there is this real spy fighting people and our author is still there, and our author is actually imagining that the real spy that she's seeing is actually a character from her own book because she writes spy novels. And the way actually they showed the differences between the imagination spy and the real spy was quite exciting. Like the real spy is getting beaten up and the imaginary spy is like an invincible hero, a superhero. I enjoyed that. But the movie really started to lose me as it came closer and closer to the end. The twists and turns were good, but it felt like to get to those twists and turns, you as an audience really need to invest a lot in the other things that were happening which were not very enjoyable to watch. I know they were meant to be silly, but those silliness sometimes went just too far. I mean, the movie was constantly dangling between being silly and being too silly. Coming to the acting performances by Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell were pretty nice. I really enjoyed whatever they brought to the table. So overall, I loved few aspects of this movie. I definitely liked the entire train sequence in the movie, and I definitely enjoyed how the movie was set up early on. But as the movie came to the end of it really started to just be too much. But hold on, there is a mid-credit scene as well in this movie. And yeah, these were all my thoughts about this movie. Please go down in the comment section and please share your thoughts about this movie if you have seen this movie, and thank you so much for watching.